Assalamualaikum. So we'll be starting very soon. If I could just ask the brothers to come to this side of the table, we'll be putting up a divider, inshallah, so the sisters can come up and participate. So all the brothers, when you're done praying, please come to this side of the table, and we'll set up the divider and invite the sisters up.
Okay, good. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him and we thank Him for giving us this opportunity to be able to, inshallah, learn from each other and share a few words of some practical, advice related to our life and lifestyle, inshallah. So, my friends, brothers and sisters, start off with a hadith just to sort of put everything in perspective. Prophet peace be upon him said, and as recorded in Bukhari, he says, "Ni'matani maghbunun fihima kathirun minan nas." He says that there are two blessings of God. There are two gifts of God with regards to which most people are deceived. Most people don't realize what is at stake. The first is, anybody knows anything about this hadith? There are two things that Prophet ﷺ said that we take it for granted, or we are deceived. I'm looking for kids before I see adults. So if any kids know the answer, there are two things, two gifts, two blessings. What is it that you kill every day or try to kill every day? Time. Here you go. Good. Somebody said time there. Okay. What else you take for granted? Anything else you take for granted? I'm looking for some kids first. Anybody else? Yeah? Not wealth. Wealth could be one too. Age. Something close to age. Something related to you. Yes. Oh man, you guys are very close. No? Health, okay, good. Here you go. Oops, sorry. So health, yes. So there are two things that we take for granted. These are the two things that we don't realize how important they are until it is taken away from us, right? So I want to share with you actually a couple of quotes. Okay, a couple of them, and some of them are actually, they're all serious stuff, okay, but they are actually quite interesting and maybe funny too, depending on which one you look at, which way you look at it. The first one, it says procrastination. Oh, sorry, what does procrastination mean? So it's a big word with like 5 syllables in there at least or something. Yes, all the way. Laziness, yes, laziness part of it. Here you go, 1, 2, 3. Oh, mashallah. Okay, so procrastination is a fertilizer that makes difficulties grow. Anybody get what is going on here? Procrastination is a fertilizer that makes difficulties grow. What does fertilizer do? I know none of you do farming. None of you probably have ever a clue even how farming works. All your produce comes to you from food basics or no frills or whatever, so you probably don't even know where it grows. But there's something called fertilizer that helps. Does what? Yeah. Okay, very good. Provide energy, provide nutrients, all that. Very good. Okay, here you go. MashaAllah. So procrastination is a fertilizer, but it's the wrong kind of fertilizer, right? It does. So what fertilizer also does is it grows weeds typically, right? So idea here is that it's a procrastination is a fertilizer that only grows one thing, which is what? More problems. More problems. When you are lazy, do you think things become easier? Who thinks things become easier when you're lazy? You know, funny thing is, most people actually put things off because they think, oh, it's going to be easy tomorrow. Guess what? It's even harder tomorrow, right? So, another saying, tomorrow is the only day in the year that appeals to a lazy man. Tomorrow is the only day that appeals to a lazy man. What does that mean? The favorite day for a lazy man is tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow. Clean your room, kids. I'll do tomorrow. Take a bath. I'll do tomorrow. Do your homework. I'll do it tomorrow. What else? And parents, please don't look at your kids, okay? No finger pointing, none of that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, okay? It probably goes the other way around too, by the way. I'm sure many husbands are being told by their wives, do this, do this, do this. I'm doing this tomorrow, right? My wife says, whenever you say inshallah, she knows what I mean by that most of the time, sadly. That has changed. It used to be like that before, long, long time ago. But that is true. For many of us, husbands or wives, I'm sure, that is a common story. That we're putting things off and think that it's going to be easy. And our favorite time or day is tomorrow. Because it never comes. That's why. Because that tomorrow never happens, never comes. So, another one. I love this one. Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun to use it, but when the bill comes, what happens? Astaghfirullah, okay. Well, that's if you especially incurring interest and if you're not paying. But point is that when the time comes to pay, what happens? You know what happens, right? It's a pain. In fact, you know how many people literally go bankrupt or become extremely depressed come January? Because the entire month of December, they're using their credit cards, right? Let's keep buying. And then comes January, you have to pay, and people are extremely depressed. And this is, by the way, studies show this. I'm not making this up. So all that being said, there's another interesting quote. It's even deeper, but I'll translate because there's too many things in there. It says that nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging of an uncompleted task. Okay, so I know I said a whole lot here. What this basically means is there's nothing more draining and fatiguing and harder than hanging something, an uncompleted task that is just hanging in there. That you see it every day in front of you. It got to be done, you got to be done. It's like, stuff like, for instance, it happens to me a lot, like something in the car. Something happens in the car, I know it needs to get fixed. Until something serious happens, it's not going to get fixed. And you're putting it off. So nothing is so draining. Every time you get to the car, and like, oh my God, I should have gone yesterday, right? And it's not going to happen. Now, all that being said, I want to hear from you guys. What kinds of excuses do we hear? Typically, what are some words or lines we hear on a daily basis or weekly basis, perhaps, right? About that demonstrate and show our lazy attitudes. What were some of the things you hear? Yeah? I'll do tomorrow, but be specific. I'm tired. Okay, these are some good excuses. Here you go, uncle. Here you go. Woo! So, sorry. I don't want to hit anybody, okay? Especially my elders. Yes. I'll pray Jummah next week. I'll skip it this week, right? Yeah. What else? Yep. Oh, sorry. Here you go. Yep. I'll study later. Very good. What else? I don't feel what? I don't have time? Oh, okay. Here you go. Oops, sorry, sister. Yeah. What else? Anything else comes? Yeah. I don't feel good? Yeah, very good one, right? Every morning, all of a sudden, my stomach starts hurting before going to school, right? All that happens. Yes, all the way there. My head hurts. Okay, good. You guys gonna have to become more creative with your excuses, guys. So, right, and then you have things like the early bird. Oh, you have a question? You have something? Want to say? Okay, here you go. Yeah. I'm too bored. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'm sleepy. Oh yeah, my favorite one. I love that one. Okay, so let's come back. Let's continue because I have like 20 something minutes to go. Okay, so yeah, so things like, even think about it, like eat shopping, right? I just love eat shopping last minute, last hour, literally. That's me. And my wife is absolutely the opposite. Like literally she could shop like 2 months before, but I can't. So there's something thrilling, and we'll talk about it right now, about doing last minute, some things that are last minute. I don't do everything last minute, but there's certain things I like doing last minute. And that's one of those things. But the excuse you make is that, oh my God, it's so much fun. Isn't it enjoyable when like millions of people shopping at the same time, and you basically don't get anything even sometimes because there's no space even in the supermarket or bazaar or whatever you go. So these are some examples. Okay, so I want to share with you 10 reasons why people procrastinate, why people are lazy. Okay, 10 reasons. These are all psychological. These are all given by psychologists. And some of them are valid. Most of them are basically things that are in your control, things that you can actually do. Okay. First one, anxiety. And this may be true. Some people have serious forms of anxiety, but some of it is just very natural. So meaning this idea that, oh, it's too overwhelming to do this task, right? So some of it is controllable, some of it is not. If you're going to put things off till last minute, of course it's going to be overwhelming. Of course, if the exam is tomorrow morning, it is going to be overwhelming. But if you plan a week ahead, that anxiety is very much controllable. In fact, a lot of anxiety is good anxiety. Stress is actually very good for you to actually get things done. So there's a healthy type of stress, and then there is a very unhealthy type of stress. The second one is low sense of worth, low self-esteem. This idea that, this self-defeating mentality, this idea that what difference will I make? That I'm not born for this, or I don't have that skill. I can never do this. I'm not worth it. Who cares, right? All that kind of stuff. Like this excuse, for instance, people make what's happening in Gaza, for instance, right? What will my petition or sign on a petition do? What difference would that make? What difference would I make if I just give a $10 or $20 bill to a cause? It's such a small thing. So we make these excuses because we have so low self-esteem. We don't even think the power of our money, power of our skills, power of our time, all of that. Number 3 is underestimation, which is an insignificant way, this idea that underestimation is basically either you underestimate time and you're always running late because of that. It could also be that you underestimate how serious the issue is. You take it lightly. And you think, oh, what's the big deal? And Prophet ﷺ has told us, لا تحقرن المعروف شيئا. The Prophet ﷺ said, do not ever think anything that is good, ever consider it small or lowly. Like there's a word in Arabic or in Urdu even, haqir. Don't think, لا تحقرن. Do not consider haqir. Do not consider it small or belittle something. Oh yeah, what's a big deal? What my 2 sunnahs will do, right? So this is another psychological reason why we become lazy and we're making all these excuses. Number 4 is destructive and disorganized environment. If you are one of those people who have messy desks or messy cars or nowadays in virtual world, if you have a laptop that has like literally 15 gazillion tabs open all the time, right? Then it is very natural to become overwhelmed and lazy because of it. Because when you're disorganized, you don't know where to start. You don't know where to look for something, right? So this is another reason. Number 5 is perfectionism. What is perfectionism? Who knows what perfectionism means? Yep. Yeah, trying to be all is perfect while you know that you will never be perfect. Oops, I hope you can catch it. Oh, good job, good job. Yeah, so this tendency to always like negatively evaluate yourself and critiquing yourself and say, you know what, until I make it to this point, I will never do it. Well, you'll never do salah probably because of that. You'll never do many good things in life. You'll never achieve, in fact, anything, right? It's like also, people are looking for Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect, right? Their entire lives they're looking for that somebody who's made in Jannah. because it'll never be on earth. There's no perfect, Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect in this world. And they're waiting and waiting and waiting for her to arrive one day or him to arrive, and it never happens. And it's a crisis in our marriages today, unfortunately, in our families today. Number 6 is heightened social self-consciousness. This is a serious issue among many young folks today who are obsessed with social media, who live on social media. This heightened self-consciousness. What does that mean? I know it's a lot of words I just said. Heightened self-consciousness. Yeah? Self-aware is usually a good thing. But yeah, overly self-aware, or maybe I would say self-obsessed, and constantly comparing ourselves to everybody else, because you'll never be the best. There will always be somebody who's better on social media or anywhere else. And social media constantly promotes this image that, if you do this, if you can have a vacation like this guy, or if you can get this new gadget, or if you can get this new pair of clothes, or whatever, you'll be the best in the world, right? And you will never be. And that causes not only anxiety, but also causes laziness. Because, you know what? What's the point of going to gym? I'll never be like that. Well, you're going to gym for the wrong reason. That's a problem. You're not going for yourself. You're going for somebody else. And that's part of what procrastination does. Another one is recurrent low mood, meaning that you are mentally, you have, basically a type of like serious depression. And that is clinical. That could be very serious. And you need to make sure that you get yourself checked if needed, or seek counseling if needed, if you are in that mode. But that also promotes procrastination. In fact, on a serious note, and this is one of those reasons that we should be very careful and serious about, is that God forbid you know somebody, or if you yourself are experiencing depression, I'm talking about serious clinical issues, one of the first things that happen to you is what? Is that you want to put everything off. The basic things that you were doing every day, every morning, maybe, changing clothes, or going to, cleaning up after yourself, or doing your bed sheets, or whatever it may be, you stop doing it. And that's a very serious sign of depression that somebody is going through, and you need to really watch out for it. That's a serious one. Majority of other excuses that I just mentioned are actually not very valid excuses. So that is another reason that promotes laziness or procrastination. Another one is workaholism. What is workaholism? What is workaholism? Yes, loving to work constantly without taking a break, without thinking about why you're working. Who's asking you to work? Like seriously, like what are you gonna get out of it, right? So that's another reason that promotes procrastination. Why? So what happens is that when you're a workaholic, and it sounds oxymoron, when you're a workaholic, you're working, and then what happens? You get crashed, right? You crash. One day you're gonna say, that's it, I'm done. And then when you're done, most people are gonna be lazy, and they don't want to actually go back to anything again, right? Have you heard people say, I've had enough of it, done. We're talking about like good things, not talking about bad things. I've done enough of it, I don't want to go back to it, right? And that's because they were obsessed with things that were not healthy. Allah didn't tell them to do it that way. Even in ibadah, we have to have moderation. Prophet ﷺ told us, fasting, prayer, all of that, there has to be moderation. If you don't have moderation, there's a problem. The second last reason is, this is the one that I was telling you about that I love and I fall into, is this love for last minute thrill. The love for last minute thrill. Just last minute eat shopping. The last minute purchasing tickets when you know it's sold out. Last minute this and last minute that. Right? So it is actually, and the last one is indecisiveness. If you're one of those people who are always indecisive about your life, what are you going to do next? What is it that you want to achieve? And you're always not decisive. Like there's so many young folks nowadays I see, you ask them, so what's your plan? What do you want to do? What do you want to, like, what's your next course? Blah, blah, blah. And what is the answer response usually? I don't know. I don't know. Right? The whole time you just hear, I don't know, I don't know. Well, you better know. You better start caring now if you want to be an achiever in life. Okay? So these are 10 reasons that promote, or causes that promote, psychological ones mostly, that promote procrastination, a life of procrastination. Now, I want to share with you one bad news and one good news, okay, about procrastination or laziness. The bad news is that 20% of people in this life or in this world are chronic procrastinators. What does that mean? They are permanently, by lifestyle, by choice perhaps, or maybe by whatever, they are procrastinators. They're constantly lazy people, okay? So that's a sad one. That doesn't mean you cannot change, and that's the good news. The good news is that procrastinators are not born. Procrastinator is a learned skill. And it's a bad skill to learn. And guess what? It comes from number one source people become lazy is, it comes from where? Anybody knows? Social media is, I'm sure, one of them. But very obvious one, the closest people around you, who are they? Or should be? Yep. No. Shaitan. Good one. I won't say it right now, but I'm sure it's going to come later. Shaitan definitely promotes, but I'll give it to you because you, mashallah, it was a very good, smart answer. The closest people to you. No. Who are they supposed to be close? I know you don't care about them. I know you don't really want to be even around them. But who are the closest people to you? Yes? No? No? Parents, family. Right? Family. Did anybody say family? I don't know if anybody said family. Okay, here you go. Okay. So, family. Laziness is learned first from your family. That's where it starts. Okay? And yes, all the other places you mentioned, they are all valid. Your friends, social media, shaitan, all of that is all good. Okay? So good news is, as psychologists talk about, is that procrastinators are not born. It is usually learned from your environment, especially from your family environment. And the best part is that you can undo procrastination. So it's like any skill, leadership skill, communication skill, willpower. These are all skills that you can actually learn. And you can undo this bad habit. So the other thing about procrastinators is that procrastinators are constantly telling themselves a lie. Constantly they're telling themselves, if I do this, this will happen, or if I don't do this, this won't happen, or if I do this tomorrow, it will be better, you know? Fear of? Fear of failure. Thank you. Good one. Thank you, sister, for sharing that. You're accumulating a lot of candies today, sister. MashaAllah. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about a couple other things related to procrastination. Before I end with some practical stuff. The other thing about procrastinators is that they think that tomorrow is guaranteed to them, right? This idea that it will. So when you say tomorrow, you actually believe that tomorrow is going to actually happen, and chances are you'll never get there, right? And even if you will live till tomorrow, the question is, why would you take today's burdens and put it tomorrow, right? Umar bin Abdul Aziz radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was a great Khalifa, he's considered to be the fifth, righteous Khalifa from Umayyad dynasty, came after the four Khalifas. He said that, why would somebody take today's burdens and transfer it to tomorrow? Because every day has its own burden. Every day has their own responsibility. Why would in your sane mind say that I'll do today's homework tomorrow? Does that mean tomorrow's homework is finished already? Does that mean that you don't have to worry about it? No. Right? So all that being said, there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in Tirmidhi and Bukhari. He says, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that lose no time to do good deeds before you are caught by one of 7 calamities awaiting you. Okay? So Prophet ﷺ says, beware of starvation, which may impair your wisdom. Beware of starvation, going hungry perpetually, before it completely paralyzes your thinking. Number 2, beware of prosperity. Too much money, too much fun stuff, too much, fun lifestyle, too many goodies in life, which may mislead you, misdirect you, thinking that, I have everything in the world. Number 3 is that an ailment or illness which may damage your health. And number 4, an old age which may harm your senses. Number 5 is sudden death. Anybody knows when they're going to die? No? Anybody knows they will die at all? Yes? Yes? Did I hear yes from you? No, I'm sure you didn't say that. Okay. Number 6 is Dajjal. When Antichrist comes all of a sudden and you are not ready for it. And the last one is, of course, the day of judgment, a doomsday, day of Qiyamah, which indeed is the hardest as the most bitter, as the Prophet ﷺ said. So procrastinators do not understand and appreciate the time, the means, the opportunity that Allah give us now, not tomorrow. People, successful people, they learn from their past, they plan for their future, but they act now. Right? They learn from their past, they plan for future, and they act today. Because that's the only time you have. Nobody has any other guarantees otherwise. Okay? So, let's see what else I have. Okay, so we're going to talk about few things, and we'll end with this now. Few things that you and I can do to fight laziness and procrastination. So this is free for all. Some of you, mashallah, have already fought or have been fighting laziness all your lives probably, and are more experienced than myself and more learned. So I want to hear from you guys if you have any thoughts on how to fight laziness. If you have any ideas, practical things from Islam or otherwise from experience. Any good ideas? Please go ahead. Yeah. To have goals. Whoa, man, that's deep. Good stuff. To have goals. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, exercise. Very good. MashaAllah. Being physically active. No, not yet. Okay, you want to exchange it? Okay, go ahead. Okay, no problem. Yep. Have a big calendar. Oh, yeah, I like that. Big calendar meaning like on the wall or on your phone? On the wall. Very good. Very good. Yes. Stretch a lot? Okay, if that helps you, go ahead. Here you go. Sorry. Yes, sister. 5 times salah. Amazing. Okay, just wait. I want to comment on that. Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah said that if you want to fight laziness or fight procrastination, start praying 5 times a day on time. Very simple, basic stuff that our deen teaches us. Okay, go ahead. What do you have? Yes, sister. Sorry. Okay. Don't watch too much? Yeah. Don't watch too much TV or your social media? Go ahead. Good. Very good. I love that. That's great. Yeah. There's another one there. Yeah. Make goals. Somebody said that. Go ahead. Very good. Okay. What? Okay. Oh, okay. So what you're saying? So do not stop practicing. Is that what you mean? Okay, good. So, very good. Here you go. Oh, sorry. Wrong aim. Sorry. It's for him right there. My apologies. Okay, I want to hear those who didn't speak. Yeah. Huh? Being punctual, value time. Yes, go ahead. You. Set routines for yourself. Whoa, that's a nice one. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm aiming wrong now. Yes, you all the way there in the back. Be consistent. Whoa, mashallah. You guys are taking away all the 7 points I had. Yes, go ahead. Let's see who hasn't spoken yet. Okay, go ahead. Set a goal. Okay, a few people have set a goal. Yes, you. Good habits. Whoa, mashallah. Amazing. Yes. Focus on what? Work. Good, very good. Be focused. Today, people are so distracted. Yeah. Help others. Good, very good. Yeah, when you start helping others, you actually become more disciplined. Yeah. Organize yourself. Very good. Excellent. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. I want to see if there's any others. Oh, I love that. Consider the consequences of what it takes when you're lazy. What happens, right? I want to see who else hasn't responded. You did speak, but go ahead. Yeah. Plan ahead of time. Very good. Very good. Okay. I'm going to have to stop a little bit because I have to finish this. Just give me a sec. Okay. So I want to, mashallah, you covered everything almost I had to say now. But I'll just share a couple more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, so let's remind ourselves that Allah tells us in the Quran especially when it comes to taking action, that there's got to be some sense of urgency. Allah says, "Fafirru ilallah." Allah says, and run towards Allah. Literally take refuge in Allah. You know, if God forbid you knew that there's a bomb in this building, God forbid, within seconds this building would be empty, right? You would be taking refuge. God forbid you see lightning happen or tornado happens, what's going to happen? You're going to evacuate right away. So Allah is saying literally, fafirru, firar. That's what the Arabic and Urdu word is. Take refuge in Allah when you see that happen, right? So in this case, Allah is saying, take refuge in Allah from all sorts of evils around you, because Allah is waiting to, with His mercy, is ready to embrace you, to shelter you. And then Allah says, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَسَابِقُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ, and run towards and compete and race with each other for the maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second point is commit to tiny steps now. Yes, there are many big goals we all have. Goals are very important. But always ask yourself on a daily basis, what is that next step? Most people, lazy people or procrastinators, get lost in the big goals and big whatever, and they get overwhelmed and they don't ask themselves, what is that one thing I need to do today? If I want to learn Arabic, what would be the first step I need to do today? Do I need to call somebody? Do I need to sign up for a course? If I want to become better at, I don't know, public speaking, or I want to memorize more Quran, or I want to learn a new language, whatever it may be, what would be that next first step? Not what I need to do 10 years from now or 10 days from now. The third one is break tasks into manageable steps and have this 5-minute rule, that do something every day for 5 minutes. And it's a magic. The 5-minute rule is like magic. Start your exercise 5 minutes, and you'll be surprised within a few months you would be doing it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Start your walk. If you don't walk, start with 5 minutes. Start reading Quran every day for 5 minutes. Start memorizing Quran for 5 minutes. It works like magic. Start praying your sunnahs with 5 minutes. Whatever it takes, start with that small rule. And the fourth one is give yourself permission to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. And the more mistakes you make, and the more you come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you come back and learn from it, the more you are going to have, inshallah, success. This idea that I cannot make mistakes is foreign to Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually loves those who actually make mistakes, but they are tawabun. They actually come back to Allah over and over again. That's what Allah wants. For you to make mistakes, to make sins, not intentionally of course, but you're a human being. You will make mistakes in doing a new business or learning a new skill. Whatever it may be, you will make mistakes. So allow yourself to do it. And then another one is have a, in psychology they say that have a power song for yourself. I would say have a power nasheed, or better yet, select some ayat or recitation of the Quran that is going to help you to sort of get motivated or get excited. So when you're exercising, if maybe use some tilawah of the Quran, or maybe some nasheed or whatever, or maybe a lecture that may inspire you and motivate you and actually allow you to actually do it. In fact, you will feel even more productive that you are able to listen to Quran or listen to a lecture while also doing exercise. It's a beautiful, beautiful practice. And the second last point is ask yourself, why are you becoming lazy, or why have you been lazy? Why are you procrastination? When you start looking at the reasons, and most likely is one of those 10 reasons we talked about, psychologically speaking, you will see that you will, inshallah, be able to be self-aware and realize that, you know what, this is the reason why I have not been performing salah on time. This is the reason why I have been skipping classes maybe, or this is the reason XYZ. And the last but not least is learn from inspirational models and role models and people around us. First of all, look around you. There are people I'm sure you can pinpoint in your family, pinpoint to in your community or in the masjid, starting with your own family. People who have been so productive, who have done amazing things. They have the exact same 24 hours. As one scholar said, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you 24 boxes every day. Every day you have 24 boxes, just like this. 24 boxes, you fill your 24 boxes with whatever you like. And at the end of the day, these 24 boxes are sealed, locked away. And some of these boxes for you are going to be empty. Some of them are full of great things. And I hope most of our boxes are not filled with garbage or junk or social media or evil or haram or makruhat, whatever, right? So point is, this box is sealed. That's it. Nobody's going to open other than Allah and the angels on the day of judgment. So you have a choice now to decide how you're going to fill these with 24 boxes. So ask yourself, what is the difference between me and somebody who has done some great things, who is probably my same age or maybe older than myself, and his young age, what he or she was able to do? Why is it that he or she was able to do something that I wasn't? Chances are it has nothing to do with skills in most cases. It has to do with lack of motivation, procrastination, lacking higher ambitions. If you look at, I can guarantee you, first of all, if you look at any CEO, any successful leader, any athlete, any business person who has made it big, believe it or not, study their lifestyle and you'll be surprised. They don't watch TV. They actually have hardly time for social media. In fact, most of them don't even have social media accounts. Somebody else is monitoring for them, right? Because they know where the prize is. They know what priorities they should be focused on, right? They don't have time for these things. And if you look at great people around in the past or even today, some great scholars, ask themselves, you'll be surprised, even some great CEOs, ask them when they wake up every day. They don't wake up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. They wake up 5 a.m., 6 a.m., some even earlier. Or some of them have very little sleep. Some of the greatest scholars of Islam actually slept very little. They will wake up early morning and first thing they would do is write and write and write. So now you can imagine and think, somebody like Imam An-Nawawi rahimahullah. Who is Imam An-Nawawi? Anybody knows? I'm going to end with this. Who's Imam An-Nawawi? Anything about him? Anybody knows? Yeah? Okay, he's the one who wrote that, compiled that 40 Arba'in Nawawi. Yeah. He's a sheikh, but yes, a little bit more than that. Yeah? Good one. Yeah. Anybody? Well, yeah, he's a sheikh, but he did some great things. He passed away at the age of 40 something. But just imagine what Allah did, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him. I mean, he wrote so many amazing books, but there are two books that have become literally a fixture in every household, in every masjid. One of them is the 40 hadith of An-Nawawi. And by the way, that's not the only 40 hadiths that was ever written. There are hundreds, if not thousands of 40 hadiths written by different scholars out there. But why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose somebody like him? And the other one is which book? Who knows that other book? Very famous book by Imam Nawawi. Yes, I'm going to end. Anybody else? Yeah? Riyadh Salihin. Yes, sorry. I'm sorry, my apologies. Yeah, Riyadh Salihin. Can you imagine a home probably, or even a gathering that Riyadh Salihin is not there or not discussed perhaps, or at least reference to? Yet this man, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve him, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honor him and allow us to learn from him, died at such a young age. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored his name with every single household reading and benefiting from his book. And the last example I'll mention is somebody like Malcolm X, rahimahullah. I don't have time to get into who he was. Malcolm X, may Allah have mercy on his soul, is one of the greatest Muslim leaders in North American history. In fact, we can say that majority, actually all the converts to Islam today in the West, and so many of us in North America owe our Islam to Malcolm X, rahimahullah. But yet, this man had only 9 months to live after he became an Orthodox Sunni Muslim. And look at the impact this man had for just in those 9 months on the world and on the Muslim Ummah. There's hardly a non-Muslim who became a Muslim who has not read the biography of Malcolm X and not be moved and not converted to Islam because of it. Right? And there's so many amazing things we can say about Malcolm X. Allah gave him 9 months, but look at his productivity. These people do not know procrastination. Do not know laziness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be great in the great in this dunya and great in this in the akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be the most productive people we could ever be. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to fight shaitan, fight laziness, fight procrastination. Ameen. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.